is my family so dysfunctional? Whew. Family. Listen, family is beautiful. I love family. For me, my ranking and as far as priorities in life is my relationship with God, my relationship with family, my relationship with my friends, and then everything else, right? Because I feel like relationships are my most valuable asset in life. But family is imperfect, just like you are, just like I am.
Go fly, life, bitch can't do it like me. Fresher than a new white tee. Fly life, we gon' eat. Fly life, way too deep. Fly life, fly life, fly life, fly life. Bitch can't do it like me. Fresh like a new white tee. Fly life, we gon' eat. Fly life, way too deep.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Fly Life Podcast. This is your host, Fly. I'm so excited about today's episode. We're going to get into some real life teenage questions that come from young girls. And so I'm excited about that. But listen, before we get into it and the topic of the day and all the juicy stuff, we need you. I need you. Do me a favor, friend. Listen, come closer, friend. Come closer, friend. Friend, I need you to like. I need you to subscribe to our channel, and I need you to share. Like, subscribe, and share. Listen, here's what you got to do. On our YouTube channel, it's Fly Inside Out. That's our channel. All of the shows that deal with fly life and being fly inside out are all on that channel. Please, 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 please subscribe to our channel at Fly Inside Out. And then follow us on all podcast platforms with Fly Life Podcast. Simple as that. Fly Life Podcast. Make sure you follow us on all podcast platforms, as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel. So listen, now that we got it out the way, friend, how you doing, friend? I'm excited about today's episode. Today's topic is hot. The questions that you all are sending in are fire. Matter of fact, I couldn't even get to all the questions on this episode. So we narrowed it down into a topic. But before we get into that, let me do our teen shout out for the week. Listen, I have to shout out a young person every week, or sometimes a group of young people every week. Teenagers that are doing amazing things, that are truly representing what it is to be fly inside and out, right? So this week, I want to shout out Dejanay Royale, also known as DJ. Listen, DJ, I'm super proud of you. The summer of 2023, DJ launched her first official business, all right? She is a boss. Yes, she is a boss, and she sells cosmetic products. Matter of fact, I want to give you the name of her business. It is Brown Skin Butters. Woo! Brown Skin. Listen, shout out to DJ. DJ, I'm super proud of you. Fly Life supports you 1,000,000%. I hope you do so well with your business, and that you gain not just a great profit in finances, but just a great profit in spirit and building up your confidence, knowing that there's no age limit on what you can do. And I'm super proud of you, and I wanted to just shout you out in today's podcast. Keep doing great things, DJ. All right. So before we get into the topic, we got to go through our disclaimer. Y'all know I have to get this disclaimer every episode because I want y'all to understand the things that I say. It's truly my thoughts, my opinions, my views, right? All right. It's just my thoughts, my advice. You don't have to take it. It's my thoughts about certain topics. But let me read the official disclaimer. Listen, this is simply advice and my thoughts and views on, subjects. So please do your own research. Have conversation with your parents or guardians, a trusted guardian, before considering any of this advice. All right. I know y'all listening to me. I'm grateful that you're listening to me. But heck, sit down after you watch one of these episodes or listen to the episode and go talk to your parents about it. Before you considering doing anything that I say, go talk to a trusted guardian or parent and seek out and do your own research to make sure that this is something that you want to apply to your life that can help benefit your life, because that's the goal. I'm only giving advice. I don't know everything. Let me put that out there. I am a human being that's having a human experience and that's constantly growing. Now, I have been mentoring teenagers for over the last 15 years. I am a certified life teacher. I used to teach school. I've been running a nonprofit called Fly Life since 2010, which is officially 13 years old now. So I do have a lot of experience when it comes to youth, right? And mentoring youth and helping you navigate and succeed in life, right? However, even though I have that experience, I always still leave room to grow and leave room for myself to improve. So I don't know all things, but the wisdom that I have gained over over the last decade and more, I am basically giving it back to you. And plus, I add a lot of my personal story as well. I've been through a lot. All right. Not to say that as a badge of honor, but to say that as because of that, I think I have some stripes on my back. And so there's things that I've been through that I don't want you to go through. Just keeping it a book, right? I don't want you to go through some of the things I've been through. And then some things that I navigated through and found success, I want you to do it faster than me. All right. So the goal is for you to take some of the experiences that I've learned through mentoring and speaking to over 100,000 teenagers throughout the course of my lifetime. And mentoring thousands of teenagers and some of the experiences that I've gained, the wisdom I've gained, and just giving it right back to you. All right. So that you can fly faster. All right. That's the goal. All right. So let's get into today's topic. But before we do that, download our app. That's where you send in the questions. Every week, I answer questions for you. All right. I answer questions for you. Listen, you have to put the questions in the app. Download the Fly Life app. It is free on all platforms. Make sure you go download the app. Begin to post your questions. And the questions, I'll begin to go through them, the team and we'll pick some great questions to be on one of our episodes. So you never know if your question is going to be answered on one of the episodes. All right. Today's topic is, y'all ready for this? Drum roll, please. I can't ask my mama. That's what today's topic is. I got a lot of questions in from various teenagers. And a lot of these questions, I said, these sounds like questions that most teenagers aren't comfortable with asking their mom. That's what makes the Fly Life app and our Fly Life podcast so amazing, is that when you send your questions in, it's an anonymous question, meaning that no one else knows that it's you. But that I've learned over the years that this gives teens the courage to ask the real questions that they're really dealing with in their heart, right? So today's episode is, I can't ask my mama. But guess what? You can ask Fly, and I'm going to give you the best answer that I can. So let's jump right into these questions, all right? I don't want to hold you back. We're going to get right into them, all right? First question, coming in hot. I like older boys. Why does everyone feel the need to try and tell me it's a bad thing? Okay, I'm going to say it again. I like older boys. Why does everyone feel the need to try and tell me it's a bad thing for me to like older boys? All right, let me talk to you for a second. All right, here's the thing. As you get older, you will see there are all kinds of relationships in the world. Just being honest. Some people date people younger than them. Some people date people older than them. Some people like to stay around the same age. The issue is, for me, in the United States of America, it is illegal in most states, to have sexual relations with someone that is older than 18. In some places, older than 16. It depends on the region in which you live in. So that's just when it comes to sexually. There's a certain thing is called statutory rape. All right, so look that up. All right, do some research on that. But when a parent can say if the young girl is, under 18 and the male is over 18, parents have historically pressed charges against that male. And vice versa, because it could be the other way around too. It could be a young man and an older woman. So let's just deal with the legal side of it, right? Especially if you're involving sexual relations, right? So it's illegal to have sexual relations with a person that's older than you in a lot of areas and regions throughout the United States of America. So that's just the law. Now, let's just talk about boyfriend, girlfriend. Y'all not doing anything sexual. Why do people have red flags pop up? Several reasons why red flags pop up, depending on the age gap. Now, if you're 17 and they're 18, you are junior, they are senior. That happens all the time because sometimes in high school, y'all are attending the same school. Sometimes people turn 18 because their birthday comes early, a little faster. If you're a sophomore dating a senior, different things like that in high school, those kind of situations happen. I believe it. One time in high school, I dated someone that was 2 years older than me, but they were still in high school. So those kind of relationships happen because you are at the same school and you may find yourself liking each other. I don't want to necessarily speak to those instances for this question. I want to deal with the more extreme age gaps because I have seen those. I have mentored girls that have been in those. What do I mean? Let's keep it simple. A 16-year-old girl dating a 26-year-old man. Or let's flip it. You know, a 16-year-old boy dating a 26-year-old girl, a woman. Or, you know, even if it's same sex, you're in high school and they are 25, 26, 27. So for this particular question, why as a young teen girl are people concerned about you dating older boys? Here's one of the main things that I have seen. If you're a 26-year-old man, I want you to answer yourself this question. Why would you be interested in a 16-year-old girl who lives at home with her mom and her dad or trusted guardian, who has limitations that if you decide to have some kind of sexual relationship, it's illegal. You could go to jail. You could get in trouble. You know, why would you want to be with someone that's 16 at 26 when you at 26 could date another 26-year-old woman? Guess what she has? She has no legal, risk by you dating someone of your own age. She may have her own place. She doesn't have a curfew. She doesn't have all these restrictions. Y'all can actually relate to each other in the age range. So what I find is that a lot of times older guys prey on younger girls because their mindset is so young, they can manipulate them and get them to get away with things that a 26-year-old is not going to be cool with it. Because a 26-year-old woman knows, like, she knows her standards. She's a grown woman. She knows what she can bring to the table. She knows this. So she's going to come to the table a little different and expect him to come to the table with a lot more options and standards. And when a 16-year-old finds that she has gotten the interest of a 26-year-old, sometimes if she's dealing with insecurity, it will become impressive to her, his age. So she's more impressed by his age than the fact of the type of character that he has, the type of integrity, his standards. Are he willing to live up to her standards? How is he willing to treat her? And so she gets so impressed by the fact that she has gotten a 26-year-old to give her some attention that she doesn't even think about all the other things like, oh, okay, what kind of person is he? What does he want from me? Why is he interested in me? Why would he risk getting in trouble by my parents legally just to be with me? Like, what's up with that? Why won't he be with someone his own age? And so that's why a lot of people older, like, that's a red flag. Another thing on a very serious note, and I know people don't want to talk about this, but I've seen it so often because I've worked with organizations and with young girls who have been rescued from sex trafficking and prostitution and have been pimped out. A lot of pimps really prey on younger girls. Why? Because they know that they can manipulate them into forcing them to do things that an older woman wouldn't want to do or feel comfortable doing or just say no to. And so they know that you having a young mindset and not being fully developed in your brain yet, that you're more likely to be gullible and easier to be deceived and easy to be tricked into, hey, I know you love me. If you love me, you'll go do this so we can get this money so we can build our dream together. All these like plays, and they sending you to do a play, and before you know it, you're in this trap. And when you try to get out, now they're threatening to hurt you, abuse you, harm you. And now you like, dang, all this happened just because I wanted to date an older boy. And to me, I always warn young girls, don't do it. Don't date extremely older than your age range. High school, freshman dating a junior, I get that. Again, make sure you and your parents are having these conversations. But when you're talking about you're in high school and you have this grown person trying to date you, that is a red flag. That is a red flag. Because my thing is, why do you want want to risk being with me and you could be with all these other women? What is it about you? And a lot of times it is that they're not on the level that they should be as a 26-year-old person. So therefore they know they can't really mess with somebody on their age group, but they know you'll be impressed by their age. So just, again, I feel like it's a red flag. If I was your big sister, if I was your mom, if I was in those things, I would definitely say that that's a no-go, because I understand the other side of it. I've had to go rescue girls and pick girls up and see them with black eyes because their boyfriend, AKA later became their pimp, and is abusing them. Very controlling, want to make sure, I've had girls that I've mentored that have been shot by boyfriends. So I've seen some of the extremes, but I also seen just the manipulation, the mind games that they play with younger girls and how they use them and manipulate them for what they want, but really truly don't desire to build a life with them. So it is a red flag. That's why everybody's concerned. And I would say avoid it at all costs. All right. I know you might not want to ask your mama that because they may like, but that's why we're answering the questions today on the Fly Life podcast. All right. Next question on the topic, I can't ask my mama, is how can you tell if your pH balance is off? All right. How can you tell if your pH balance is off? Now, this should be a question that you could go to your mom and ask her about. When I talk about pH balance, I'm talking about your vaginal pH balance. You should be able to go to your mom and ask her these questions. Now, if you're sexually active, let's just keep it real, and your mom doesn't know that, I see why you are a little afraid to go to your mom and talk to her about this. But pH balance being off doesn't mean that you are sexually active. pH balance being off could be because several things. There could be a underlying health issue happening, all right? That's one. Two, you could be using the wrong products down there and irritating your pH balance. I would say avoid douching and all these, using like vinegars and all these chemical, these things down there that could set off or, turn off or get your pH balance off track, right? Using a lot of antibacterial soap. I always tell girls that I mentor, do not use an antibacterial soap in your vaginal area. Why? Because your vagina has healthy bacteria. There are certain bacteria that you were God-given, really, that were given to you down there to fight away bad bacteria. So if you are using an antibacterial soap, you're killing the bad and the good bacteria, and it's going to create an irritation, and you may find yourself getting a yeast infection on all these different things, right? So use a very mild, some people don't even use soap. Some people are anti-soap down there just to really be safe. But if you use a mild, unscented, non-fragrance, nothing that's antibacterial type of soap. Use something that's very safe, very gentle, just to get cleansed. You don't need all these perfumes down there, all that kind of stuff. All that stuff can mess up your balance, your pH balance. So I would say avoid over cleaning with the wrong cleaning. Your body is built to clean itself. Your vaginal area, that's why it has good bacteria. It's built to keep the bad things out, the good stuff in. And if you don't over, clean it with the wrong things, irritate it. Also, monitor what type of underwear you're wearing. Not wearing something that's too tight that you can't breathe down there. Fresh air is good, letting it breathe. Also making sure you're not using a lot of stuff with heavy dye down there. That's why a lot of times if you go and buy panties, you might see some blue panties on the outside, but the inside, it may have a white lining. Why? Because they're trying to keep those type of dyes out of your vaginal area because they know that it can irritate it. Warm water, a very gentle, mild soap is enough. And if you don't want to do soap, because some people don't, warm water and just, keep it clean. It depends on where you are. But I want to read a fact to you so you can understand what's normal and what's not. So according to Healthline, your vaginal pH level is usually between a healthy one, a 3.8, and a 4.5. And some articles may even say a 5. So from a 3.8 to a 5 or a 3.8 to a 4.5, which is moderately acidic, right? the pH level can vary depending on your age and your health. All right. So now, again, if it's really off, another thing, if you are sexually active, bacteria is exchanged during sex. So whoever your partner is, they have bacteria on their body. And when you exchange in sex, you are taking in their bacteria. So, and if you have multiple sexual partners, especially at the same time, it definitely could throw off your pH balance because you're being exposed to all these different bacteria. It's a lot of things that can throw it off, and which could cause bacteria infections, yeast infections, a lot of irritations down there, even urinary tract infections. So I would say make sure you're wiping good front to back, not back to front, because you don't want to get anything from the back in the front, because of course we know the back is to discard waste, and so you don't want to get any waste or the bacteria from the waste to the front. So make sure, if no one ever taught you, wipe front to back only. Okay. Make sure that you're using gentle soaps, warm water. Make sure that you are not putting any perfumes, doing any excessive douching, any of that kind of stuff, because all those things can contribute to throwing your pH balance off. I definitely be mindful of your sexual partners. Understand that, the more partners you have, the more risk you are subjecting yourself to various bacterias, as well as understanding that, your partners need to be clean if that's where you are. Now, of course, the safest way to avoid a lot of the STDs, bacterial infection stuff, is abstinence. But if you've already committed to being sexually active, make sure you're walking in sexual integrity, and that you have integrity towards your own body, and knowing like, hey, this is my standard. This is how I want whoever I'm with. I need to make sure they're clean. What's their sexual history? Have those kind of conversations, because you want to protect your temple, and that's your body. All right. So I hope I answered your question. But if you're irritated down there, if you find yourself lubricating more than normal, you could be having a yeast infection. If you're itching, if you're if there's an odor and a smell that's unusual that you didn't have before, don't be afraid to go to your family or your mom and ask them to schedule you an appointment. You think you may have a bacterial infection or yeast infection, you think something may be going on, and go to the doctor. They'll be able to do an exam and tell you right away what's going on, and, get it taken care of and get your pH back to normal. Okay. So I hope I answered that question, and that was a great question. Thank you for asking. All right, next question for our topic. I can't ask my mama. All right. Woo. The question is, why is my mama, so this is a mama question, why is my mama doing crack? So I know y'all probably like, what? Somebody asked you that? Yes, because we do live in a world where drugs are, unfortunately, there's an epidemic on drugs. We know there are various different types of recreational drugs that have a lot of people addicted. Those that may know me may know that my father is an overcomer. My dad was a drug addict for a big portion of my childhood. And so I know what it is to have a parent that's addicted to drugs. Now, my parents divorced when I was really, really young. And so I was kind of like sheltered from a lot of the day-to-day, I would say, encounters that come with having a parent on drugs. Because I know I've mentored girls that the parent lived in a house that was the addict. So they seen the drug paraphernalia. I've seen, or they've actually seen their parent high. They've seen their parent use. They have, my parents, relationship got a little volatile towards the end. So my mom, got out of the situation before it could get, really bad for us. And thank God now my dad is clean and he's doing well. But, I saw just that side of it. And so at an early age. So now just understanding what all comes with that. Understand that addiction is a sickness. And it's not your fault. I remember as a kid, I used to always say, why doesn't my dad choose me over drugs? That was the way I rationalized addiction as a kid. from a kid's mindset. But now as an adult, I understand that it's an addiction, is a sickness, and that it's not easy to shake. And it wasn't that my dad didn't love me, he didn't value me. It's just that the choices that he made to try drugs, one, and they took over for a while. And it took a lot of rehab, a lot of prayer, a lot of therapy to get him to where he is today. But it is not something easy to shake. Many people, unfortunately, have lost their life to a drug addiction. And I want to apologize to you as a child that you're experiencing that. And I pray for your mom that she can find that breakthrough just like my dad did. But I also will tell you it's not an easy walk. But if you're in a situation where you're in harm's way, you know, you may have to talk to another trusted adult if you feel like, you know, because I've seen things where, you know, people sell their children out to get high. I mean, they'll force their children to do sexual acts with other people just to get the money to get the drugs to keep their high. I've seen people abuse their kids when they're high. I've seen people neglect their kids, like not come back for weeks, and they're left there hungry trying to figure out the power is off. So it can get really dangerous. And so if you could have a conversation with your mom, maybe something you could say can spark or inspire her to get into the programs that she may need, or seek out the help that she may need to get clean. But understand it's not your fault and it's not your responsibility. And again, it is hard. And some people get on drugs because of they're coping with other underlying issues. There's a root. Maybe they went through some type of trauma they're trying to avoid. Maybe they had a death or a loss of a loved one. Or, you know, maybe they were just recreationally out partying and having a good time and tried something and realized that them trying that one time was going to become a addiction that would now impact their kids. And so I am definitely praying for your mom. I'm praying for you. And I pray that wherever you are, that you're getting the safety that you need while your parent is walking through that addiction. And so I get why you can't go to your mom about that, but I do want to encourage you, if you feel that it's safe, to either get another trusted adult or someone to maybe see if y'all could do an intervention with your mom and see if she'll be willing to take the necessary steps to get clean. All right. So I hope I said something to help. All right. That was a heavy question, and I know how that feels. What's up? This your girl Fly, coming to you live talking about Fly Life. Yes, Fly Life, a girls mentorship program for girls ages 11 to 18 years old. What are we here to do? Empower you to be fly inside out. Yes, you can now join Fly Life without going to one of our schools. I'm gonna say that again. I just dropped some heat. You can now join Fly Life without going to one of our schools. How? Online. Whether you're on Apple, whether you're on Droid, it doesn't matter. Download the Fly Life app. In our app, we have amazing curriculum that you can do in the app. I'm gonna say it again. We have amazing curriculum that you can do in the app. And we're gonna talk about different topics, different subjects. We're gonna have different courses, such as a course on emotional health, a course on how to have healthy relationships, a course on how to manage conflict, a course on how to become a boss, get that money, be an entrepreneur. And matter of fact, we're gonna give away some money this year, a lot of money this year. So you wanna sign up and be a part of Fly Life. If you are between the ages of 11 and 18, this is for you. Sign up today by joining our app. And guess what? I'm gonna drop a little nugget as well. The Fly Life Conference is coming bigger than ever before. And you can watch the conference online on any of our pages, whether at YouTube, go to our website to get to our YouTube, and you can even watch the conference in our app. Make sure you're following us online at flylife.org, or go to our website at theflylife.org. It is our goal to empower you to be fly inside out. This year is going to be one of our biggest yet, one of our most impactful yet. Make sure you're a part. Checking out your girl Fly. Peace. All right, let's stick to family. Another question you probably don't feel comfortable with asking your mom is, why is my family so dysfunctional? Whew. Family. Listen, family is beautiful. You know, I love family. You know, for me, my ranking and as far as priorities in life is my relationship with God, my relationship with family, my relationship with my friends. and then everything else, right? Because I feel like relationships are my most valuable asset in life. But family is imperfect, just like you are, just like I am. And so everybody has their different backgrounds, everybody has their different experiences. And so a lot of times those experiences, whether they went through trauma, a lot of families may have had molestation in the family. Some families have had, a lot of backbiting, meaning talking behind each other back, gossiping, some families have fought over money. Some families have had a major death or someone make a mistake and it cost a loved one and now they never bounce back from that. It's so many things that can cause a family to become dysfunctional. But I will always say, one thing that I have been very consistent about is always trying to be a light in my family. When I show up into a room, I've been blessed to have a great family. But when I show up into a room, my family, I want to bring light. I want to bring positive energy. I want to bring love. I want to bring, joy. So try to be the change in your family that your family needs. Like if there's been generations above you that have had a pattern that wasn't healthy, you could be the person to break that for your family, for your kids, for your little cousins, your siblings, whomever. You could be the person to change that for your family. And so I have been a person that, again, I have a great family. They're not perfect, but there were things in my family that I said, I don't want to carry that down. I want to take that good value and pass that down, but that I'm going to leave there. I think we could be better this next generation and then get better again the next generation and get better again the next generation. I want to contribute to adding to our family values and our family legacy versus adding to our family dysfunction. So you can be the change in your family. And so I just want to encourage you. It happens, unfortunately, it's a part of life, but how you show up for your family, how you show up for your future family matters. And so just make sure that you are the change that you want to see. And if there's some things in your family that you want to leave there and say, I want to do this better and do this different, by all means, be that person that changed the course of your family for generations to come. All right. Great question. Next question. Whew, now we get into the thick of some things. All right. How do you know if you're ready to lose your virginity or not? Again, how do you know if you're ready to lose your virginity or not? Again, y'all know I'm pro abstinence as long as you can, because I understand the repercussions of losing your virginity to the wrong person or at the wrong time. I've seen it. I've mentored it. I've coached people through it. So I know, the consequences of it, right? So that's always going to be my first thing. Stay absent as long as you can. If you can stay abstinent to marry, hey, go for it. But if you are at a place where you say, that's not the choice that I choose to do or the path I choose to go on, I respect that. And this is what I would say to you is, how do you know? One, I think it's very important to know you a little bit more. Understanding your why. Why do I want to lose my virginity? What's the why? And make sure the why is not based on other people's pressure. Whether it's the person, your partner that's trying to pressure you, or whether it's just trying to keep up with the social norms that's pressuring you, or you feeling like you're losing out that's pressuring you. Never make a decision that you can't get back off of pressure, because it's your life. You losing your virginity is a part of your story that you will have forever. All right. So don't allow any pressure, whether it's from your partner, whether it's from your friends, whether it's from social norms, make you make a decision that you will later regret. All right. Never make any major decision off of pressure. All right. Because I found that in those times, sometimes you make the wrong decision, especially when the pressure isn't a healthy pressure. All right. Secondly, I would say when it comes to knowing when it's time to lose your virginity, are you educated about your body? We just talked about pH balance and all this kind of stuff. Are you properly educated about your own body before you allow someone to have access to your body. Now, here's the responsibility that comes with that. The person that you're granting access to be able to enter your body, you are saying, I am trusting you with my life. I know nobody want to hear it that deep, but that's the truth of the matter. Here's the thing. Women, as females with a vagina, we are receivers. We are receivers, meaning that something can be deposited into us. That's the beauty of childbirth and all that amazing stuff. I'm a mom. I was able to receive the seed that was necessary to develop our daughter in my womb and eventually have her. Beautiful process. I'm so grateful that I got to experience that. However, I just can't only be subjected to receiving sperm from a male to conceive a baby, but I also can receive diseases. I also can receive unhealthy bacterias and different things like that. So that's another thing is why I say number 2, do you know you'll understand your body enough? Do you understand what your uterus is, what your ovaries are, the makeup of your vagina, what it's supposed to do, what it's not supposed to do, what sex is supposed to feel like, what is not supposed to feel like. I would say too, have you fully been educated and understand your own anatomy? All right. Thirdly, I would say, are you comfortable with understanding that at that moment you're taking a risk? And when I say taking a risk is you're taking a risk to either get pregnant or to subject yourself to STDs. Now, I'm not saying that you should walk around afraid of sex, because sex is a beautiful thing. And even though people want to make it like sex is bad, it's horrible. No, it's not. It's a beautiful thing. God created it for a reason. Procreation and intimate desire, which creates oneness between two partners. All right. So here's the thing though. Are you willing to, and are you ready to take the risk that by this sexual encounter, you can get pregnant? You could get a disease. I know everybody want to say, not me, not me, not me, but I can't tell you how many phone calls. Of course, I would never disclose their names, and I'll go to my grave with a lot of these secrets, but I have a lot of secrets in my head of people I know personally, girls I've mentored personally that have an STD. And they all said, I didn't think it could happen to me. And again, you are a receiver. And so I know people will lie to you. I've had somebody lie to me before and say, oh, you're my first. And I wasn't. The person I lost my virginity to told me that I was his first, and I wasn't. He lied. I lost my virginity in college. I regret losing my virginity to him. I can't take it back, but it was a choice that I made I lost my virginity in my college dorm in college. And so I'm saying all that to say to you, make sure you're at a place where you are willing to say, I can live with taking this risk and the consequences that may come with it. Now, here's number 4. This is why number 4 is important. If you get through those first 3 and you say, I'm ready, I'm still ready. Okay, number 4, you need to educate yourself on how to protect yourself. How to protect yourself. Again, we know abstinence is the number 1 form of protection. But if that's not the path you chose, what's next? Are you gonna carry your own condoms? To make sure that person wraps up. We know that condoms don't protect from everything, because we know there are other forms of ways, oral sex, different things like that. So how are you going to protect yourself? Are you going to require them to get tested? There's a lot of things that you can do. And if people are like, I don't want to do all that. You got to love yourself enough to do the work necessary to protect yourself. Because sometimes people have something and they don't know they have it. And so you have to protect you. Maybe you need to have a conversation with your parents. Hey, I think I want to be put on birth control. Or whatever it is that you, going into point number 5, I will always say, involve your parent. They may, unless you feel like your parents is going to harm you physically for having this conversation, I don't want you to be in harm's way. But this is never a comfortable conversation. But I would say, involve your parents or a trusted guardian or a trusted adult where you can say, hey, I think I need help getting some type of protection. They may not like your decision. They may not like the fact that you're at this place in your life. No parent really wants to hear that. But I will say this. I guarantee that eventually, once they come down, they would do what's necessary to keep you safe while making this decision. And so number 5, again, is get a trusted guardian or adult involved to make sure you have the proper necessities to do number 4, which is protect yourself. And so, and then number 6 is make sure you're emotionally ready. The first ones was a lot about the physical. Are you emotionally ready? What I mean by that, are you so into this individual that if they were to have sex with you, take your virginity, and then the relationship end, will you be mentally in a strong place to survive? And what I mean by that, we know that statistics around teen depression, teen hopelessness and stuff have been rising lately. And a lot of it can go back to relationships. You know, if you don't feel like you're strong enough to emotionally be ready to possibly not continue on with this relationship, despite losing your virginity to this person, maybe you're not ready. Because your mental health is just as important as your physical health. Because I need you to be able to survive the possibility of this relationship not working out despite you losing your virginity, okay? And number 7, the last one I would say is always be led and guided by your spirit. If you don't have peace about it, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't feel like you have to do it. I let my peace, my spirit guide and lead me. All right. And I think that you should do the same thing. So that's 7. I just gave you 7 things that'll let you know if you're ready or not to lose your virginity. All right. We got one more question on today's episode on I can't ask my mama. Here's another hot one. Woo. Y'all ready? I got to answer them. How do I get my mom to accept that I like girls? Okay. How do I get my mom to accept that I like girls? And this is coming from another girl. Hot topic, popular topic. A lot of people don't want to touch it, but I'm going to touch it. Here's the thing. Your mom may never accept the fact that you like girls. And it's not your responsibility to get her to accept the fact that you like girls. I think because of everybody's different ideologies, theologies, perspectives, views, everybody's not going to always agree with how you choose to live your life. I think the main thing that I care about, first, I wanted to keep it real with you. There's nothing you can really do to make your mom accept something if she don't want to accept it. All right. What I want to encourage is for you and your mom to continue having the dialogue. And what I mean by that is I want y'all to have a safe environment where y'all can talk through what you're feeling, the choices that you're making, and, navigating, keeping your relationship with your mom healthy. That is more important to me than anything. Sometimes that may mean y'all may have to get a third party involved in the conversation, because maybe that's a licensed therapist, a trained counselor, maybe a wise, balanced thinking clergy person, all that kind of stuff. So maybe someone needs to get involved to help y'all navigate. But I want y'all to have a safe space where you can be heard and where your mom can be heard. But the most important thing to me in this whole question is you and your mom keeping your relationship healthy. That's the most important thing to me. You and your mom have to keep that relationship healthy, and y'all have to keep the lines of communication open. Because I've seen this particular issue go the wrong way. And I've seen relationships between mother and daughter be, severed and broken. And I've seen, let's just talk about some statistics. This is what I don't want to happen. And this is why I encourage parents to keep that safe environment. I'm not telling a person what to believe or what to to accept and not to accept. But what I am telling you is always accept your child and always accept your mom and create a healthy environment to even where there may be disagreement and conflict on the issue, that y'all can stay healthy and keep the line of communication open. Because that daughter needs her mom and that mom needs her daughter. And we need more healthy conversations in the midst of conflict than ever before. Because when the communication gets cut off, that's when the danger enters. And so I want to read a statistic. Y'all know I got to get my stats. So let y'all know that I'm really studying and trying to give y'all real, true, wise answers. Here's a statistic. And it says that suicide is the second leading cause of death amongst young people, with the LGBTQ plus youth being 4 times more likely to seriously consider suicide, to make a plan for suicide, and to attempt suicide versus their peers. So young people that are part of the LGBTQ plus community are 4 times more likely to seriously consider suicide, make plans to do it, or attempt it versus their peers. And suicide is the second leading cause of death amongst young people. So this is an issue that I've seen it, I've mentored it, and I know it's such an uncomfortable conversation for a lot of families to have. But please listen. I've had experience handling these conversations the wrong way and the right way. And what I'm learning through the years, and that's just me being transparent, I've handled some of these conversations wrong. I've handled some of these conversations right. And what I learned is that you have to create a healthy environment for love to still be present. You may not get the other person. That's why I started off. You may never get your mom's perspective to be yours. But we can make sure that mom is honoring and loving of that daughter, and that daughter is loving and honoring of that mom, and that the communication stays open so y'all can continue to have dialogue and talk through everything. That's what's more important to me out of your question, is keeping a safe and healthy environment for love to reside, and for a person to know, no matter the choices, no matter the decisions, no matter the preferences, no matter the lifestyle, that you are a human being and your life matters. And if you're my child and your life matters, and you're my mom and your life matters, and build from that place. And we have to have more of those conversations. So I hope I answered your question. Thank you all so much for listening to the answers. That was some tough topics that y'all sent in. Shout out to the teenagers that sent me those questions. I'm not running from the tough questions, as you can see. I'm not scared because I want healthy dialogue between teenagers and their parents. And I want safe spaces where teenagers can be vulnerable with their parents and parents can be vulnerable with their teenagers. And so I want to leave you with the tip of the day, which is the Fly Wisdom tip of the day. Fly Wisdom. Here's what I want you to walk away with from this particular episode of I Can't Ask My Mama. I want you to, and I wrote this down, try to build a stronger relationship with your mom. I'm putting it on you, teenager. Try to build a stronger relationship with your mom. Now, I've seen some moms that were very dysfunctional and toxic. I ain't one to say like, all moms are right. No, I've seen some stuff. I've seen moms talk to their teenagers in a way that was so demeaning that I had to advocate for that teenager. And so I know it's not always easy. I don't know the dynamics of you and your mom's relationship, but I will encourage you. And if it's not extreme abuse where you feel like you need to be separated from your mom for a season in order to maintain your health and well-being, you need to contact a trusted adult about that. But if it's just the everyday, we not getting along tension that you and your mom are experiencing, I want you to learn to listen more to your mom. Her perspectives doesn't mean you're always going to agree. Ask more questions. Ask her to open up more to you about her experiences in life. I realize that a lot of parents aren't as transparent as they need to be, because some of the stuff your kids are walking through, you walk through, but you so afraid that you don't want anything to happen to them that you're not keeping it real with them. And then also, you can't allow your fear to project your trauma on your kids. That's a nugget right there. We got to pause right there. Parents, you can't allow your fears from your trauma to be projected onto your kids. I went through some things as a child. You know, I was exposed to sexual things early before I was supposed to by older peers and different things like that. And so now I am very mindful of how I parent and steward, you know, my daughter. But I can't project my fears on her and not allow her to have a childhood either. And so there's a balance of knowing how to protect then versus knowing how to shelter and keep them away from experiencing life. It's a balance. And so I just want to encourage you to open up to your mom and say, Mom, I want a better relationship with you. I want to be able to come to you and talk to you about anything. I just want to not feel like you gonna kill me or my life is gonna be in danger if I open up to something with you that you may be uncomfortable with. I want a safe space. Are you willing to go to therapy with me? Are you willing, if you feel like y'all can't have that conversation together one-on-one, and maybe y'all can, y'all don't even need a third party. But whatever it takes to get you to having that healthy dialogue with your mom, I encourage it. That's my wisdom tip for this episode. Do what you can within your power. You can't make it happen because it takes two. But within your power, do what you can to build that stronger, healthy relationship with your mom so that we don't have to do episodes on I can't ask my mama, all right? Because you can't ask your mama. Now, this is Fly. Listen, y'all. Y'all know how we end every episode with the Fly Life Creed. I need y'all to repeat after me. Say, I am full of faith, full of love, and full of youth. I am fly inside out. Listen, again, I appreciate y'all tuning in to another episode. I hope this episode inspired you, empowered you to fly above all obstacles. Make sure you come back. Come back for another episode of the Fly Life Podcast. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you soon. Peace.
Bitch can't do it like me. Ay, fresh like a new white tee. Fly life, we gon' eat. Fly life way too deep. It's giving fly. I'm throwing fists. I'm in my bag. I'm too legit. It's giving queen. It's giving rich. They put a vibe. Heavily sent. No, this ain't tag. No, this ain't tag, but they know that I'm it. I'm in my bag, making good grades. I got that job and ain't got no permits. I took some L's, never quit. I'm from the home of the brave, little baby. I'm coming as hard as it gets. I shine bright like neon. This prime time, no Dion. We teed up, no Freon.